What if everything you believed about your family was a lie? Join us as we break down The Childe, where a young man's journey to find his father spirals into a deadly game of deception, betrayal, and survival. We open with a mysterious man tied to a chair by a gang of criminals. They think he's just some rich family's kid, but they've made a big mistake. He breaks free, takes out his captors, and confronts the boss, reminding him of a promise: he'll be the last thing the boss ever sees before he dies. Next, we meet Marco, a 24-year-old half-Filipino, half-Korean fighter. Marco is street-smart and skilled in boxing. He takes risky jobs to earn money, desperate to pay for his mother's surgery. His only friend is helping him search for his father, who abandoned him and his mother years ago. Marco's latest job is to help rob a jewelry store, but it goes wrong when his partner double-crosses him. He barely escapes the thugs but gets hit by a car during the chase. Surprisingly, the driver takes him to the hospital and even gives him some money as compensation. Not long after, a lawyer finds Marco and tells him his father is critically ill and wants to see him. In Korea, he even assures Marco that his mother will be cared for while he's gone. Realizing his father is wealthy, Marco reluctantly agrees. But the plane ride is strange. A mysterious man claiming to be Marco's friend warns him that he might not survive once he lands in Korea. When Marco lands, his father's guards are waiting. As they're driving to his father's estate, the man from the plane, calling himself the nobleman, shows up. He advises Marco to buckle up, then suddenly starts shooting, killing everyone except Marco. Meanwhile, Marco's bedridden father and ruthless half-brother are eagerly waiting for his arrival. Marco's half-brother runs the family business with an iron fist, and it becomes clear they have their own motives for bringing Marco back to Korea. While on the run, Marco contacts his guardian back home for help, but the nobleman soon catches up to him. Just as things look bad, a woman rescues Marco in a car, revealing she's the same person who hit him with her car earlier. She drives him to safety, losing the nobleman and his half-brother in the process. In a secluded spot, the woman tells Marco the shocking reason he was brought to Korea: his father needs an organ transplant, and Marco is his perfect match. But this isn't about family. His half-brother wants him dead. Before Marco can react, the nobleman arrives and a fight breaks out. Marco escapes, but not before being shot in the foot. Marco is captured by his half-brother and taken to their enormous mansion, where he meets his half-sister, who was also tracking him. He tries to escape, but they sedate him and prepare him for surgery to harvest his organs. Just as he's about to be operated on, the nobleman sneaks in, disguised as a nurse, and takes out the medical team. Marco's half-brother arrives with reinforcements. The nobleman uses Marco as leverage, making a deal for $10,000 in ransom. As they're leaving, Marco's half-brother pulls a shotgun, but the nobleman fights back and kills him. They try to escape, but Marco's half-sister stops them, questioning if Marco will claim their father's fortune. In a final twist, the nobleman reveals the truth: Marco's father and this wealthy family were all part of an elaborate setup to get him back. Marco was a pawn in a bigger scheme. The nobleman used him to get close to the family's wealth, with the help of Marco's guardian back home. Marco's furious, but the nobleman hands him a share of the money, covering his mother's surgery costs. They escape just as the police arrive. Sometime later, Marco's mother has had her surgery, and they're living peacefully. The nobleman meets Marco one last time, checking in on his mother's recovery. As a final offer, he asks Marco if he wants help finding his father for a price. Marco laughs it off, saying he's moved on. They part ways, and Marco finally steps into a life free from the past. And that's The Childe, a story of betrayal, survival, and unexpected alliances. Marco's journey reminds us that sometimes, the people we trust the least end up being the ones who help us the most. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe for more movie deep dives.